All right. Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. We're back. This might be the most out of place we've felt so far.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it feels like we haven't done the show in like a month. It feels like Faraday was a month ago, right? It feels that way.
It does feel like that was forever ago. I cannot believe that was only a week ago.
Shout out to everybody saying the Faraday interview was great. We had a great time with it. We hope everybody else did. It was a lot of fun. Appreciate all the positive feedback.
That was a big moment. That was probably, to be honest with you, maybe the highlight of my professional career so far.
Of your professional blogging career, or just
Yeah.
professional career as a person who works for money?
Well, I guess just probably my professional, because what was cooler before that?
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
Faraday
just
was great.
Seeing him, talking to him. There were even moments where we were just in the elevator with him.
Yeah.
And it was like
It's weird little moments like
small
that.
talk with David
I remember
Faraday.
Brett was messing with the fax machine to get it ready. And it was me and David Faraday standing there. And I was asking him about what the rest of his day looked like. And we were just talking about how he was about to go on Fallon. And it was a very bizarre but very awesome experience.
Very cool. Thank you again to the Golf Channel folks and David Faraday for having us in.
And for being a good sport, making the video. That was cool.
Yeah, we were a little nervous asking him.
Yeah. I mean, he's a nice, chipper guy, but you just never know.
You never know. And he's like, he's got the three-piece suit, and he's got a whole entourage with him, and he's going on Fallon. He's got all this shit going on. We're like, hey, can you hide behind a plant on
Yeah.
a stool and, like, do what we tell you to do?
A few hours after that, he went to one of the most watched television shows in the world, Jimmy Fallon, and we're making him hide behind a bush that's sitting on a chair that's on wheels.
So it's been a wild week. Trent, I could not agree more. It feels like that was forever ago. Now we find ourselves, we come to you live. It's AT&T Byron Nelson week, but we are live very near TBC Potomac.
Yep, we're in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Yep. We're somewhere close-ish to D.C. We've been down here since Sunday night. We're just one day removed from the players, which we're going to get into, but we had a very, very fascinating interview with Billy Hurley III, who is the defending champ of the Quicken Loans National, which is moving to TBC Potomac, hence why we were there.
Yeah, so we, right after the players, me, you, and our new producer, Sunshine, who's here with us.
Sunshine's here with us. This is his first run. We're going to get into a little Sunshine business.
And a little
He's
bit
an
here.
interesting
But
character.
Yeah, we hopped in a car, us three and Captain Cons, right after the players ended, headed down to Washington, D.C., got in about midnight,
Yep.
and then went right to bed. I don't know about you guys, but I went right to bed.
Right to bed.
And then woke
Well,
up.
Captain Cons, let me say this, of Zero Blog 30 fame, was laying head at the foot of his bed watching Veep.
No way.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to watch an episode of Veep, and was watching it with his head at the corner end of the foot of his bed, watching it maybe 3 feet from the television.
We got into DC/Silver Spring at a little after midnight, and we had to be up at probably 7:38.
Yeah.
I passed out right away. I can't believe Cons did not do that.
It was impressive, but I'm a big TV on when I sleep guy.
Oh, I'm not.
See, I'm huge, especially when I'm sleeping with a roommate. So I was all for it.
I'll also say this. You and Con shacked up. Me and Sunshine shacked up. Me and Sunshine don't know each other at all. So we're just in a hotel room together with this guy I met a week ago.
That's a Barstool difference. I mean, it's, we're running this big-ass golf podcast franchise situation. You got two people who don't know each other. Sunshine, we just met like a week and a half ago in general.
That's the thing. I am sleeping in the same room with potentially a serial killer. We just don't know.
You don't know shit
I
about
could have
him.
woke up and he
Literally nothing about him.
You know in Wedding Crashers when Todd is over Vince Vaughn in the bed? I could have woke up and he could have been face to face with me.
The other crazy part about it is that he's like, he just walks into the office because we said he could, and now he's got access to everything.
Yeah.
Like all Barstool stuff. They're getting him passwords. They're getting him this, that.
He has a key card now. He has all of our Twitter and Instagram and email passwords. You got anything to say for yourself, Sunshine?
So, Sunshine, introduce yourself to the people.
Send nudes.
That's his first thing he
Strong.
says.
Strong.
I like it.
Sunshine's got an agronomic, what is it, background?
Agronomy.
Agronomy background.
Yeah.
He knows about the ground
Mhm.
and shit. Worked on a golf course.
Yep.
We stole him. We poached him from Vineyard Vines.
Yeah,
Love Vineyard Vines stuff, by the way.
for sure.
But Sunshine's in. This is his first episode. We threw him in the fire. He had to record us running around TBC Potomac all day today. He had to film us running around D.C.,
Mm-hmm.
monuments, all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah.
Now he's got to do the podcast. Almost midnight. We're trying to get this shit up. So it's, it's a hectic first week. How you feeling?
Pretty good. It was good so far. Nothing too crazy, but Definitely better than my last job. Can't say anything more positive about this so far.
Did you feel weird about the hotel room last night?
I was gonna feel out the situation. I didn't want to make any decisions when you asked who's going with who. I figured I'm just gonna let this fall as it may, because I don't even know. It was I don't know. And then I don't know. It was
I
weird.
love it. It's great.
Nothing weird happened. It was just
Right.
you're in the room with a person you just don't know.
Well, we had to room with somebody.
Yeah.
So,
So,
what are you gonna do?
At least we had 2 beds. Is all I'm saying.
we did have 2 beds. We didn't share beds.
That would have been wild.
I just did the thing. I went to bed right away. I just didn't want to deal with it anymore.
So we're here. We're in where are we at? Silverwater,
Silver Spring.
Silver Spring,
It's easier just to say DC.
DC. We're near DC. We're driving back at 5 a.m. So we get back into work at a decent hour. Anyways, we're hot off the Players Championship. Anything else? Is there anything else? Oh, we have to talk about the French Embassy.
Oh yeah.
For those folks out there, we drove by the fucking French Embassy today, having no idea what it was. The place, the French gotta be the most secure people in America right now.
Who is attacking the French embassy? If you drive by this place, it's like for real Fort Knox.
It looks like they're thwarting off like North Korea right now. Just the embassy.
There were 4 layers of fence before you even got to like the guard shack to get in.
There were like red buttons and like lights outside on this intense whole like security area. Was like this massive black gate like fucking Mordor. And then way back in there was this like super modern castle of an embassy. It was crazy.
It did look like modern art the way that it was like built and constructed.
It was like I didn't know. I kind of have a newfound respect for the French that they're that guarded up. I never seen anything like that.
I go the
before.
other way. It makes me suspicious. What the fuck's going on in there?
Yeah, but I just thought they'd be like, whatever, and they were like, we're not fucking around here.
That's true.
So French embassy was wild.
Another thing, Sunshine's been doing all the driving.
Yep.
He drove from New York to D.C. He drove all around. He's almost killed us twice already.
It was not me. There was no way it was my fault.
Robbie Fox tried to kill us once driving in the wrong way traffic. Sunshine has done it 2 times on this trip. We've been here 36 hours, maybe.
Maybe the most egregious driving error I've ever seen. He literally made a left turn at like a huge intersection, and you know how there's a divider in between the 2 like 3-lane roads.
Yeah.
He just went into the left side, so we were going against traffic.
And I already know what Sunshine's going to say, so I'm not going to let him say it. He's going to say that he followed the other car. Hey, take some fucking initiative by yourself and blaze your own trail.
Yeah.
And don't almost get us killed.
Yeah, it was an incredible trip down here.
Yeah.
We still got to drive back. So when people are listening to this, who knows what our fate's going to be.
Well, I have to say, though, a lesser man would have gotten into an accident, so just wanted
It's
to
true.
clear the air.
You did avoid cars. We're driving my car, too, so that would have been a devastating start, I
Yeah.
think, to the relationship.
And one last thing on Sunshine, he's a lefty. For anybody that
Lefty
doesn't
on the golf course. We figured that out. Let him hit a couple shots during our TBC Potomac course review, which we're going to put out the last week of June,
know when the tournament
which is when the
happens.
Quicken Loans National occurs. On to the Players Championship. We're just one day removed. Siwoo Kim, who quickly catapulted to my favorite golfer in the world.
Yeah, been a big Siwoo Kim guy for as long as I can remember / 36 hours ago.
Just nails on that. I'm all about that guy.
Yeah,
The minute that everyone else faded, which we're going to get into,
which was everybody.
which was everybody, we'll just get into it right now. I wrote down some of these scores. J.B. Holmes, 84. What? 84? That's insane. Kyle Stanley, 75. Emiliano Grillo, 75. Lucas Glover, he had a great round, but he got it to 8 under and then bogeyed 4 of his last 6 holes to just shoot 70 when he could have really thrown his hat in the mix there at the end. Patrick Cantlay with a 77. Louis Oosthuizen, 73 is not terrible,
No.
but when he was just one back going into the final round, you're thinking that guy, major champ, has been playoff and 2 other major championships. He didn't shoot anything under par. Sergio Garcia, 78. It's insane. Everybody
Yeah.
was just falling by the wayside.
And nobody would say this was an electric leaderboard heading into Sunday anyway.
Nope.
It was pretty boring, pretty bland. But then you have all the head guys falling back and shooting high scores. And then comes our arch nemesis, Ian Poulter, coming out. And if he just plays well, he has a chance to win this fucking thing, which is why we hopped on the Siwoo Kim
And
bandwagon.
he looked good on the front 9.
He was a
Poulter,
machine.
He was driving us.
He didn't bogey hole
Crazy.
for like 40 straight holes.
No, and he was hitting it in there tight. Even on the 9th, when he finally hit a dog shit wedge shot to the back of the green on 9 when there's a front pin, hit a terrible lag putt, and then made like a 15-foot slider and gave one of his douchey little Poulter undercut fist pump things.
Ugh.
Oh, that was maybe the low point in the Players' Championship for me.
And that's the thing. Poulter, all you need for him to do is make one mistake and he gets frustrated and starts, yelling at the gallery, yelling at his caddy. He was on cruise control, which made him almost unstoppable, which was what was frightening.
Yep, and we're going to cover a lot of the drama that happened with Poulter afterwards with some of the other guys, but I don't want to leave Si Woo Kim yet. Youngest player to win the Players' Championship ever.
21 years old.
Overtook Adam Scott in that regard. Also, he was caught today, Monday, which is when we're recording. He was middle seat on his plane out of Jacksonville. Coach.
Common man. Common golfer. Winning the Players' Championship.
Yes and no. Look, Coach, I'm all about. I've never not flown Coach. I don't even know what it's like to not fly Coach. Middle seat is like, I'm me. I don't have any money. I got nothing.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in a room with you schmucks right now talking about these guys.
We had to share hotel rooms.
We're sharing hotel rooms. We almost died.
I'm sharing one with a potential serial killer.
Sunshine doesn't know how to drive. All that.
Yep.
You guys know all the details. I pay the like $81 upgrade or whatever it is if I have to not be in a middle seat.
Yeah.
No matter what. Middle seat stinks.
Say what you want about office manager Brett, but he does ask us, like, do you want to sit a window seat? And we're like, absolutely. So he's pretty good about that. You got Si Woo Kim, you just won whatever, probably like $1.2 million. Dude, you can
It's like 1.7 or 8 at the Players.
Is it really?
It's high. What is it? 1.8? Sunshine's doing like lip syncs over there.
Yeah.
You can just say it.
So 1.8, even higher, he could just buy a private jet and fly wherever he needs to go.
He could do anything. You're right. It's common man-ish. Don't mind the Coach thing. I'm a little nervous about the middle seat thing. That's kind of psychopathic stuff. Another little tidbit here. The fact that, South Korea, they kind of need to figure their shit out with their professional athletes. You have to do mandatory 2 years of military service, which is what Sangmoon Bae is off doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you're exempt from that if you win one of the majors, and that's it.
Do you
The
think
players has to.
I was just gonna say,
How the fuck they gonna look you in the eye?
I don't
and be
know
like,
I don't know that much about the South Korean government, and to say that I don't know anything. Do you think he could just be like, it's the Players, it's what some people call the fifth major, or could he just be like, hey, the Players is a major, and I'm just gonna convince you of that, and we're gonna not make me do military service?
Nah, maybe I'm just a little woke because the French embassy's got me all thinking everybody's really into shit.
Yeah,
But I think the South Koreans do not mess around.
that sounds right to me.
I think they're on the ball, especially because they got Kim Jong-un right up the street there. That's like knocking at their door nonstop, so they cannot be lazy on their.
Part of me will
militaristic
respect
stuff.
South Korea less, and I don't know where my respect level is at with them currently. But if they are like, oh, it's the Players, it's close enough, he doesn't have to do his military service. I'm not saying I want Si Woo Kim to have to do military service, but I want South Korea to stick to their guns on this one.
I'm telling you, South Korea's military doesn't strike me as like a you're close enough type of
It's not like a
organization.
casual, like, hey, wear whatever you want.
I just don't think so. Now, I'm going to agree with you. I'm not like the most South Korean military guy. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's my instinct. Also at the Players, we had a good handful of JJO shoutouts.
Which was very cool. I want JJO to become like the new, Baba Booey. I know some people hate that shit, and I get it. They don't like when people yell in their backswings.
But I think JJO is a little subtler.
it
Is
is
subtler a word? More subtle?
more subtle.
More subtle.
Yeah.
I think JJO is more subtle, and you made a great point in the car. Anything that ends with O is
Yeah.
a great, yellable word.
Yeah. JJO.
Oh!
Oh.
It's perfect. It's great. So shout out to our idiot coworker Kevin, who came up with that. KFC.
He did.
One of his more intelligent theories he's ever
Yeah,
had.
we're both wearing JJO bands right now. We'll have to get Sunshine one. He's not wearing one.
We'll get Sunshine one. Go grab a band.
But yeah, if you're ever looking for something to yell, make it. Don't. Baba Booey is so. People don't even know what that reference is anymore.
No.
I know because I just do, but other people don't. JJO is the new Baba Booey. Let's hear some JJOs out there.
Yeah. So that's a lot of the Players talk. Si Woo Kim, he he was kind of a magic man, getting up and down, left and right, coming down the stretch with his wedge play. Speaking of wedge play, I'm going to tell you about some of our friends over at BombTech Golf. We got to tell you about them, a direct-to-consumer golf company that we are gigantic fans of. BombTech Golf is disrupting the golf industry as we know it. That's bomb as in explosion, tech as in technology, golf, well, it's a golf podcast. We love golf. That's all we do. We talk about golf. They're one of the fastest-growing golf companies out there because of the quality and value they provide. BombTech builds clubs for the average golfer. They don't really give a shit about pros or about retail. They only care about you. They're kind of pissing off the entire golf industry, which we love.
Mm-hmm.
We're all in on that, right, Trent?
Yep, we're very good at pissing off lots of people in the golf industry.
But BombTech doesn't care, neither do we. Their only goal is to offer to you, the regular golfer, more for your money. BombTech Golf offers the Grenade wedge set. I've talked about this many times. 3 premium wedges for just $97. It's an unbelievable deal. You get a 52, 56, 60-degree wedge for a total of $97.
We used those puppies at TPC Potomac today.
We used them today. We were spinning shots in. They're tight. It felt great. The stainless steel wedges, they got a nice slick look. They're clean. Sunshine was even like, whoa, let me look at these things. They're nice.
Beautiful.
They're backed by a 60-day guarantee. If you don't like them, just send them back for a 100% refund. They ship next business day, and you really cannot find better performance and value combined. BombTech is partnered with Foreplay. That's us. We're the Foreplay guys. For an exclusive offer, go to Google, type in Grenade Wedges to find BombTech Golf. You can take an additional 15% off the Grenade Wedge set using the coupon code BOOM15. That's BOOM15. One word, BOOM15. Seriously, while you're listening right now, Google Grenade Wedges. Check them out. Both Trent and I love the wedges. As we stated, we used them at TPC Potomac today. Quality, performance, feel, they're phenomenal. Google Grenade Wedges. Go get your wedges right now. All right. We got to get into Ian Poulter.
Yep. Really the only thing that made the players interesting because, like we said, the leaderboard not packed with a lot of storylines, so we begrudgingly had to just root against Ian Poulter for 18 holes, basically.
Yeah, it made it interesting because you really, I would have been 10x more devastated if Poulter would have won than I would have been excited if anyone on the leaderboard would have won.
Agreed.
And so it was anybody but Poulter. That sounds a little cliche, whatever. It was true. Trent was like yelling at the TV every time Siwoo Kim made a putt.
Yeah, we watched the players together because we were going to head to DC afterwards. I wasn't the only one yelling at the TV when Ian Poulter.
No, we were excited.
Okay,
but
good.
You were extra excited.
I was extra excited because Siwoo Kim, my guy, he's been my guy forever. He's now up against my arch nemesis. So to see him prevail, to see him play well, and then go to 17 was the most nervous shot I've ever been a part of. And then for him to stick it and pull it out over Poulter, felt great. Felt very good.
It did. We got to get into this talk about Poulter not playing to win. He started getting roasted immediately.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see where we go with this one on our opinions. They might be different from each other. But let's set the stage. So Brandel Chambly, who everyone knows, went on air right afterwards and said, this is what he said about Poulter. He clearly did not play to win, and he didn't. That's what he said. There's more to it, but basically what the sentiment was, Poulter laid up a couple times when he could have gone for the win.
On 16, he was I think 227 or something around there, out in the right rough. The original announcer, it might have been Faraday, I'm not sure exactly who it was, but went over, checked out the lie, said on the telecast, his lie is as good as he could imagine.
Yeah.
For being in the rough there. Poulter goes over. At this point, he's 2 shots back from Kim, but he's firmly in second.
Mm-hmm.
He lays up. Then he hits a wedge to 40 feet, 35 feet, something like that. 17th, obviously the pin's tucked on the right over on that little knob. He hits one in the middle of the green, 30-something feet, something like that. 2 putts. And then 18 was a little bit of a disaster. He had an unbelievable shot to make a bogey. But
unreal.
Those shots, when you're trailing by multiple, when you're down 2, and the guy behind you is playing great, you need birdies. Everybody knows you need birdies. He very clearly had done his calculations. I think he was 8 under at the time and basically had convinced himself, in my opinion, if I get to 8 under, I'm going to finish second place, and that's a little over $1 million paycheck.
Yep. Okay, so Poulter, once he gets done with his round, gets the Twitter fingers and quote tweets the guy who quoted Chambly. He said, Poulter said, "Sorry to disappoint. I can only dream of being as good as Brandel. It's clearly
Brandel.
That was weird.
You just churched him up a little
I
bit.
did. It's
Brandel.
clearly very easy sitting on your arse. Thanks for the support." Okay, let's press pause.
Okay.
Who is in the wrong and who is in the right, in your opinion, in this situation?
I think everything that Brandel Chambly said is completely accurate.
Okay, so we
And
do agree on that
therefore,
point.
I'm with him.
Because there is a school of thought where if Poulter did play for second, is there anything wrong with that?
No, and Chambly even said that in his comments. He said it's totally fine. He even went as far as to say, I've hit that shot before many times. His point was that, Ian Poulter, you will never be considered great.
Yeah.
And you will never be able to pull off the type of moments that are considered iconic, great moments that people like Tiger Woods have pulled off.
Yes.
Because you played for second place.
And even Chambly said, because in Poulter's thing it says it's very clearly, or it's very easy sitting on your arse. Chambly admitted to that too. He's
Right.
like, I know it's easy to sit here and say this, but that doesn't make it not true.
Right, and then Chambly ended up getting hit from everyone on social media with the, oh, classic Chambly, what'd you have, one tour win, blah, blah, where it's like, the guy is paid to be one of the top analysts. So he's going to analyze, and he's he commentates, he analyzes. He's going to analyze and commentate and comment on what happened.
That's more speaking to that it's Brandel Chambly, because David Faraday could do he could say the same thing and people would be like, "Oh, I agree with you."
Right.
It's just because people don't like Chambly.
He's got all that, that the baggage from the past and the controversial comments he's made and all that. I understand why a lot of people don't like Chambly. He's got a little bit of that self-righteous tone to him. I love Chambly.
Yeah.
I think he's great. And I think he was absolutely spot on here.
This really is, between Ian Poulter and Brandel Chambly, really a butting of heads of two of the biggest douchebags. And it's definitely in golf and maybe in sports.
We also had our guy Elk, who was tweeting at me down the stretch about Poulter finishing second, which is great. Elk cracks me up every time. And he was, he's right there in the Chambly boat, which I think we agree as well. I mean, it was just obvious. It was very, very obvious. It was great when Poulter was playing this way, super cautious, and then just shanked one and got a horrible bounce on 18 that went underneath a tree.
Shout out to the guy on 18 watching his ball go down the car path in the wrong direction, cheering and pumping his fist as it happened.
He did. He had a one arm up fist pump.
That guy is a hero. He's a nameless hero, but he's a hero nonetheless.
Fist pumping Poulter's ball going away from the hole on the car path towards a bush is just that's a foreplay guy.
That's a foreplay guy.
Yeah.
I mean, even he definitely listens to the podcast. He has to.
That's absolutely a foreplay guy. All right. Anything else on headlines, Trent? We did have Rory, who had an MRI. It looks like pretty much what everybody expected.
Yeah, he's got a little bit
lingering,
of
hip issue or ribs issue from his earlier, I think, January injury.
You know what would help Rory
What's
bounce back from his injury? A little bit of protein.
Yeah, I feel like he could use some protein.
And where you can get that protein? He can get it from our friends over at Chef's Cut with their beef jerky.
Wow.
We did a video with them. They sent us a whole bunch of beef jerky to the office. It was delicious.
Caleb, our coworker, is obsessed with it.
Caleb, is he really?
It's that good. He's like, this shit's unbelievable.
Yeah, they brought us a whole big box, and it's about gone now. Chef's Cut Real Jerky is the only jerky brand out there that is founded by a real chef, Chef Blair Swiler. Not only that, it is also the only jerky brand that started on the golf course. Co-founder Dennis Rydell met Chef Blair while caddying at Calusa Pines.
Sounds great.
Okay. Tried his homemade jerky and convinced him to start smoking and selling the jerky to courses across the United States. Premium golf clubs from Bel Air to Bayonne were the first ones to carry Chef's Cut. Today, PGA Tour golfers like Kyle Reifers and Ryan Brem fill up their golf bags with Chef's Cut. Reifers love the brand so much that he reached out to the brand himself and became their first athlete partner and investor. We met Kyle. He's a very nice guy.
Awesome guy.
Both Ryan and co-founder Dennis played golf at Michigan State University, a connection that led Ryan to trying the product and becoming a fan of the brand. Chef's Cut Real Jerky is the protein snack of choice for pro athletes across all sports. Super Bowl MVP Von Miller stocks up his locker room with Buffalo-style chicken jerky. Seattle Seahawks safety Earl Thomas deems the honey barbecue chicken jerky his pre- and post-practice snack of choice. And former Boston Red Sox David Ortiz, Big Papi, is a big fan of the Chipotle cracked pepper steak jerky. Every bag of Chef's Cut jerky is packed with 12 grams of protein per serving, is gluten and nitrate free, and perfectly tender due to proprietary smoking processes. The brand offers steak, turkey, chicken, pork, and bacon jerky varieties. You can find Chef's Cut real jerky at your local grocery store, on Amazon.com, and on the brand's website, chefscutrealjerky.com. And they are offering a unique discount code on their website specifically for Barstool. It's Barstool10. That's BARSTOOL10. There's never been an easier way to take a chef-crafted, high-in-protein, delicious snack with you wherever you go. So go ahead and take the chef with you.
All right, now we've got a very special guest. Up next, Trent, our boy Billy Hurley III.
Billy Hurley III, we interviewed him in person in the executive suite at TPC Potomac.
Very nice guy, defending champ, like we said when we interviewed him. He's got a great story. He's got an incredible background. He's had a very emotional story over the last year and a half,
Yeah.
which we touch on. So
we definitely touched on it. And also, I don't know if we plug it in the interview itself, but he wrote a Players Tribune letter. I think we did touch on the interview, but definitely go check that out. It's very, very interesting.
It's very touching. Make sure you go check that out. This is our interview with Billy Hurley III. All right, we are now live from TPC Potomac. We are at Media Day for the Quicken Loans National. We are very lucky to be joined by the defending champion, Billy Hurley III. Billy, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Good to see you guys.
They put us in the executive suite, which makes us feel a lot more special.
This
than we
room
are.
is very off-brand for us. This is not the type of room that
You-
people
Not
usually
for the
put us in.
Barstool folks.
If you saw the podcast studio that we normally record in, it's a big difference with the stuff that's hanging on the
We
walls.
should have got here a couple hours earlier. This is nice.
Yeah, this is very nice.
So first of all, let's start with the players. You must be exhausted because I feel like about 12 hours ago we were watching you finish up on Sunday, and now here you are in D.C.
Yeah, actually, probably under 12 hours ago, I got off the, or well, under 24 hours ago, I
Right.
got off the golf course down in Jacksonville. So yeah, but it, good to get home. Always nice to get home in between events and get kind of a day of rest. It's a little bit easier to rest at home than it is even on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. And so just to talk about the players, pretty good week for you. Obviously made the cut, T41. It's one of those players, one of those events that it's obviously a huge event. Everybody loves it, but the course, I feel like nobody's in love with the course. How do you feel about the course?
Well, I thought they did a really nice job with the changes that they made, and the new greens were fantastic at Sawgrass. And like I said, with the new greens, they softened some of the slopes and made them more accessible. Made some new pins on 4 and 1, and
Right.
Obviously they redid the 12th hole completely. Which
Yeah,
I
what'd you
thought
think
they
of the
did
12th?
I thought they did a good job at a first iteration of the 12th. I think that over the next 2-3 years we'll see it change a little bit more and maybe become a little bit softer on the left side. I thought that was a little severe, which is why you didn't see many guys go for the green.
Yeah, what was the way you decided to attack it? Because there's two schools of thought. You either go for it or you lay up and just kind of chip in.
Right. Yeah, I laid it up all 4 days. Partially because I wasn't driving it great, so didn't have like that great driver swing that you would need to have to put it on a green. But
Did you make that decision before the round, or were you mid-round sometimes like, if I'm driving it well?
yeah, I think that was probably more the feel. On Thursday I started on 10, so it was pretty much like we're not going for it. You just don't. You got 2 holes under your belt and you're gonna swing a driver at the middle of the green.
Right.
Doesn't sound like a good idea. Saturday, I was tempted to go for it. Probably only would have needed a 3-wood to get like around the front edge of the green based on
Right.
the wind and stuff like that. But still just laid it up, and I finally birdied it on Sunday, but I had to make a 50-footer to make birdie. That's kind of not what you're supposed to do on a 300-yard hole. But at any rate, a 3's a 3. So, but overall, like I said, I think that they did a nice job with the changes. They made the golf course more aesthetically pleasing as well. They cleaned out some of the
Between 6
roughage
and 7,
areas.
they made that lake a little
that's
larger.
really pretty. And even just throughout the whole course, it's opened up some of the wooded areas so you can see through, and took out some of the bushes, I think, that kind of blocked views around the golf course. So it was a much more pleasing to the eye golf course. I mean, it definitely is a very, very hard golf course, and there's not a whole lot of easy shots out there. But
What is it around the greens there? I just feel like people have the weirdest lies nonstop.
well, it's at Bermuda, and it's kind of you never know, especially in May, what sort of growing season you're going to have, and how is the Bermuda going to be thick or thin or sparse or healthy, and I think that's what leads to the definitely the inconsistency around the greens and in the lies, but that's just Bermuda rough in a sense of how it is.
It's a little Pete Dye. He's got you guys. You're always one
Yeah,
foot
I
in,
mean,
1 foot
there's
out.
always a knob somewhere. There's always an awkward stance, and yeah, absolutely.
So let's go back a little bit. You're obviously a Navy guy, 2004 grad, quantitative economics. How does that help you out there?
Yeah, we don't do a whole lot of quantitative economics.
What
on
is
the
quantitative
tour. Yeah,
economics? I don't even know. Do you know what it is
that's a
after
great
studying
question.
it?
I certainly can't spell it.
Right.
And but I did okay in the classes, and they put it on my degree. So basically, quantitative economics is economic theory with more math. It's just kind of instead of just the theory, we did a lot of numbers and kind of put numbers to the theory to make it have more quantitative analysis in that sense. So, like I said, I did okay at the classes, but it was the right major for me. I enjoy math, and so it was a nice mix of theory plus numbers for me.
So you're a very accomplished young golfer, amateur golfer. You're deciding, where to go to school, where to play your next level of golf. What made you decide to go into the Navy?
Well, really, the Naval Academy was the only school for me. It was actually the only school I applied to. Okay. And I just fell in love with it. I got a tour of the Naval Academy after my freshman year of high school, and that was it. Hook, line, sinker, honor, courage, commitment. I'm in.
Yeah.
It was
You're
just
like, this is me.
This is me. It was, it's not the right school for everybody. It was the right school for me. It just really fit kind of my personality and kind of who I was as a 18, 20-year-old.
So 2004, you're Patriot League Player of the Year. You also won the Byron Nelson, which is top golf college golfer and sportsman. Now you've got 5 years of service coming up. What was that feeling like with your game was so great? I believe you were the 6th ranked amateur in the world. Talk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, it was kind of just one of those natural progressions for me. As an 18-year-old, I was not on anybody's radar as the next, Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, Justin Thomas kind of guy. Those guys were, ready to play the tour when they were 19 kind of thing. And that was not me at all. And it wasn't, so the tour was not like an imminent or, even predictable path that you would have put me on even at 20 years old, halfway through college. And so I knew what I signed up for. I knew what I committed to do, and that was what I was going to do. There wasn't really
no surprises.
It was just I went to the Naval Academy, and I knew what that meant, and I was going to serve my country.
So 5 years of service, two of them you're deployed in the Persian Gulf. Were you playing much golf at all?
There's not a whole lot of golf in the middle of the ocean, So we for the better part of 2 years there on USS Chung Hoon, I was a recreational golfer. Okay. Certain points in my service time, like when I actually was teaching economics at the Naval Academy, I was able to play a good amount of golf during that time. But on board ship, I averaged for those 2 years. I played 5 competitive days of golf in those 2 years. And I probably played, 1 to 1.5 times a month if you average it out for 2 years.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's a big, that's stunning. When you consider who you're going up against now and kind of what they were doing at that time in their life.
Right. No, I'm out there in Hawaii on my ship, and I'm watching, my Walker Cup teammates, Anthony Kim, JB Holmes, and those guys win golf tournaments. Jeff Overton make a Ryder Cup team.
Right.
All these things. While I'm out there just, doing my job in the Navy.
So 2009 comes around. Now you've done your 5 years of service. You start getting back into competitive golf. What was that transition like?
It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I like you said, in the summer of 2009, I finished my 5-year commitment and got out of the Navy, came back to Annapolis, Maryland, and kind of just get my feet wet in golf again. Start hitting balls every day, practicing, putting it all in there, and I played a couple of tournaments there in August of 2009, and I kind of knew I wasn't ready, but I knew I had to play at some point in time, and I think I played 3 mini tour events, and I missed 3 cuts by a shot each, and you just kind of, it was, I kind of had in my head, I think when I got out of the Navy, it was going to take about 6 months to be, back into it. And it took about 9 months. And so those 3 months, while not a big difference, felt like a long time, like when you just kind of didn't see anything out of the effort you were putting into it.
I feel like you had to know, though, deep down, having had such a different path at 5 years where you're not really playing competitively at all, that you're only missing cuts by 1 shot. You got to know, okay, I've got it. I've got what it takes.
Well, yeah. I mean, in one sense, looking back at it, you can look at it that way. When you're in the middle of
Easy
it,
to say now.
Would you rather be missing cuts by like 20 shots than missing them just by 1?
I mean, I guess you always want to shoot a lower score than anything one better than something is better, right? I mean, so, but missing cuts by a shot is hard.
That's
like
tough.
it just is the worst. So.
Especially you can go back through any round and pick.
Absolutely.
So many different shots.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what level you're playing golf
Right.
at. Missing cuts by a shot is really hard. and then when you combine that with the mini tour lifestyle of just shelling out cash and coming away with nothing, that gets hard too.
So 2011, you're on the nationwide tour. You have a great year there. Make it to PGA Tour 2012, and you missed keeping a card by $165. Huh?
Yeah.
We're just making Billy relive it.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to a point where we get real
Hey, remember
positive.
when you missed the cut by 1 shot, then missed it by $165? Just reliving the days.
I mean, so yeah, the funny thing about $165 is like that's not even 1 shot. That's like
Right.
1 guy. That's like the difference between being like tied for 55th with 6 guys versus tied for 55th with 5 guys. Right. I mean, so it's like, we're not even talking about like 1 shot. We're talking about a tie with one other guy or something throughout the course of the year, right? So, it's funny. We got really used to living on the bubble there for a while. You mentioned when I got my card in 2011 off the Nationwide Tour, I finished 25th, which is the last guy in to get his PGA Tour card off of now the Web.com Tour, and so that was right on the bubble, down to the last shot, down to the last guy on the golf course, that last tournament of the year, and then same kind of thing. Missed your card by $165, which came down to again somebody else, their last 9 holes of the last tournament of the PGA Tour season, and not even like me having my fate in my own hands, which is my own fault, I guess. But we just got used to the bubble, and certainly that was a disappointing end to my rookie year.
So a couple years later, you're back. You're playing, of course, much better. You're more on the trajectory I think that I'm sure you plan to be on. You qualify for your first U.S. Open. You birdied 3 of the last 4 holes in qualifying. What's that like going into first of all qualifying for, and then playing in your first major championship?
Yeah, that was really a pretty big turning point for me in 2014 there, and I had a very nice run there from the U.S. Open all the way through to the British Open. Ended up qualifying for the British Open right after that, and kind of so yeah, those last 3 holes were pretty good. Birdied 3 of the last 4. I remember that I hit a 2 hybrid on 16 to about 3 feet. It was kind of, it was just one of those shots where it was like, well,
Gotta have it.
Gotta have it. Yeah, it's you got.
There's
gotta
no
have
decisions.
It. There was no middle of the green there. It was just you gotta have it, and so it was a great shot. I mean, I still kind of remember it. So and then going into my first major at Pinehurst that year, it was definitely a spurring on kind of moment there for me.
What was Pinehurst like that year? Because I think it was, it ended up being Martin Keimer kind of ran away with it. But Pinehurst with, a lot of the tradition it's had now, and it had the renovation.
Yeah, it was a completely different Pinehurst. It was
Right.
the first time that, we on tour had played a tournament at that Pinehurst. Obviously, there's been many majors at Pinehurst, but with kind of the center line irrigation and really dry on the fringes and of the fairways, and then into the kind of native areas that they had. It was a tough test. I mean, especially with the raised greens there and
Right.
everything. But got a lot of experience. I remember I played Sunday. It was Sunday. I think I played Sunday with Zach Johnson there, and and that's learned a lot from watching him do it, and have since learned a lot from a lot of other guys. Just kind of watching them go about their business.
So let's get into the Quicken Loans National. We're here now. Obviously, this tournament, this is your neck of the woods. You're from this area. You have a very emotional connection to this tournament with the story with your father, and we were talking about the Players Tribune article beforehand, and a lot that you talked about in there about really focusing on remembering your father's life, not necessarily the death or any of those circumstances. What does it mean to you to come back here this year as the defending champion at a tournament like this that's so emotional for your family?
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it in that sense. I mean, obviously, last year winning the tournament and, having kind of the history that you alluded to with the tournament and my father's disappearance and ultimate suicide, it's just like storybook stuff in a
Right.
sense of like, when you look at it, because you can combine all that stuff, and that would be one thing over here with like kind of the history of like what went on in my family around this particular tournament. But then you add in the fact that it's here near my hometown, the closest tournament that we play to both where I grew up and where I live now. And then it's also the like flagship event to honor the military.
Right.
And, being the only veteran on the PGA Tour, I mean, that's important to me and near and dear to my heart. And so, when you add like all three of those threads together, it kind of becomes a little bit unbelievable.
It is. It's
like a movie.
It's an incredible story, and everything that Quicken Loans National does, like you said, with the military, and we've got our boy Captain Khan sitting here who's going to sit down with you a little bit later, but they give away 30,000 tickets annually. So yeah, all of that just seems so incredible. What is it like, or what do you think it's going to be like being the defending champ at a course that's a different course than the one that you wanted on? Because it was congressional.
I mean,
last year.
that always kind of is a little strange. I think for anybody who defends at a different course, when you win somewhere, you'd probably just rather go back to that place.
Put
But
me back there. I'm good there.
That's right. Let's go back there. But this is also here at TPC Potomac is special to me because it's where I spend most of my time practicing when I'm home too. So,
Right.
I've definitely played the course more than most guys have. I wouldn't claim to have played it a lot because I'm not home a lot.
Right.
But when I am home, I practice out here, and I think that guys, the tour players, are really going to like it. They might not like how difficult it is, but they will definitely, enjoy how well done it is. The club does a great job, and the course staff and professional staff here do a great job, and so it's going to be, I'm sure, just in mint condition for the tournament. So everybody will enjoy that.
We're a little nervous about you talking about how difficult it is because, for those that don't know, we're going out media day to play it this afternoon.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to beat us up pretty good, as every time.
It'll beat you up pretty good. Yeah. take an extra couple golf balls.
Okay. Good note.
So I want to get in a little bit to the how you closed out the tournament last year. We watched a little bit of highlights again this morning, going back through it. The hole out on 15, because everything was, it was really tight, and then all of a sudden you chip in on 15. Did you kind of, at that moment, were you kind of thinking like, all right, this is happening, I'm doing this?
Yeah, I think that I walked around the front nine kind of not with any momentum and not, hadn't really got anything going. And I remember I think it was like 8 or 9, like walking up the fairway, just going, no, this is supposed to happen. Like this is gonna happen. I thought this was gonna happen today, but it's not happening yet.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
it's not happening. We're not really. I mean, I was still leading the golf tournament, but it wasn't like I was like really in control and you know, it was a 1-shot lead or something at that point in time, and so yeah, that chip in definitely went from, man, is it going to happen? Like, this should happen, to, no, this is happening.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is going to happen now, you know? And I remember, you know, that pitch was one where you're just hoping to get it inside 6 feet and make a putt for par. And, you know, then it disappeared into the hole. It was really crazy. And I remember thinking after I got the ball out of the hole, I was like, okay, I just have to hit the ball in the fairway. There's some deep bunkers on 16 on either side on the par 5. And so if I hit it in the fairway on the next hole, I should be able to figure it out from
Right.
there, you know. And so that's immediately kind of where we went, was just kind of like sitting over to the side of the green and just trying to, you know, calm back down and you know, come back to a level of adrenaline that's sustainable.
Still got
You
some
know,
golf to
yeah,
play.
you still got 3 holes to play, and you know, hit it in the fairway on the next hole, which I did, and was able to, you know, kind of cruise it in from there.
Yes, you birdied 16, and then you know you come up 18 with a very comfortable lead. Everybody likes to have that drama and those dramatic finishes, but that comfort level coming up 18 with everything that's going on, that had to feel nice.
Yeah, I remember thinking the night before that I wanted to step on the AT&T with a 4-shot lead. Like, that was kind of, you know, like that seemed that's a good goal.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of quick hit a putt on 17 that would have given me a 4-shot lead, but I also didn't want to have a 3-footer coming back
Right.
on 17.
Right.
You know, so we just kind of you know, made kind of a 2-putt there on 17. So I had a 3-shot lead, and yeah, it definitely was. I hit a really good drive on 18. But I hit it really hard, but I pulled it just a little bit from my intended line. So I didn't know if it was maybe just in the left rough, kind of coming over the hill there. So, you know, walking over the hill and seeing the ball in the left side of the fairway, that's when you kind of knew, okay, I think we can get it done from here.
That's great. That's what you play for. So
That's exactly right.
That's awesome. So we finish. We're gonna finish up with a little rapid fire,
Okay.
as we always do. We just got a handful or so of quick questions. Number 1, if you had to use your driver and driver only, what would you shoot at TPC Potomac?
Oh, driver and driver only. 92.
Okay.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. I mean, that'd be tough. All right. What is your favorite golf shot to hit?
Probably a hybrid. I'm
That 2 hybrid.
arguably the best hybrid player in the world, and so I hit a lot of really nice hybrids. So I have a 4 hybrid that I can hit inside of most guys' 8 irons.
You sound pretty confident with the
That
hybrids.
The
like
hybrids
that.
are pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a big fan of his hybrid confidence. Favorite cereal of all time?
Honey Bunches of Oats.
It's a good one. It's a good standby. You know, you can take this one, Riggs. This was your question.
Could one destroyer, modern day destroyer, defeat the entire 18th century British royal fleet?
Probably.
I agree.
I-
But I'm
Yeah,
not
I
an
mean,
expert. I don't know
because nowadays you don't even have to get that close to it. So I
And I
mean,
don't think
like,
they'd be
you
able
know,
to do any damage.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even have to get close. You wouldn't ever get inside of their like kill radius. Like they couldn't actually hit you from where you could sit out and hit them. So yeah.
Good luck, Britain.
Yeah.
Tough.
Best course on tour.
Oh. Probably Augusta.
Yeah.
How was your first Masters experience?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I mean, I sum it up this way. I really want to do it again.
So do we. We were there for the first time this year.
Yeah.
We're hoping we don't piss anybody off too much. Weirdest pre-round or pre-tournament superstition?
I don't think I have anything weird. I mean, it's pretty regimented, as you might imagine,
Right.
for you know, a Navy guy. But I can't think of anything that's weird per
Not a
se.
superstitious guy.
Just routine.
Okay. And the last one, thin crust or regular crust pizza?
I mean, I mean, regular from your question, I guess. Not the super thin, but not like the super thick.
Somewhere
you know,
in
kinda-
between.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That's Billy Hurley III, defending champ of the Quicken Loans National. Thank you very much for sitting down with us. We really appreciate it.
You got it, guys.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Billy.
That interview with Billy Hurley III was brought to you by the Driver versus Driver contest and our friends at Wilson Golf. Golf Channel's Driver versus Driver is set to embark on its second season, and they're looking for talented designers to help develop the next great driver along with the experts at Wilson Labs. Do you think you have what it takes to design a cool new driver, the next big thing? Submit your ideas to Golf Channel and Wilson Golf at golfchannel.com/driver versus driver. That's golfchannel.com/driver vs driver by May 31st, and you could be a contestant on the next season of Driver versus Driver. The show will follow the journey of aspiring designers as they work their way from concept to reality. Each week, teams will face elimination from the show's panel of expert judges. Contestants will work hand in hand with the Wilson Labs team as they look to conceptualize their groundbreaking idea. By season's end, one team will see their product brought to life and sold in stores by one of the golf industry's most respected brands, Wilson Golf. Time is running out. Get your entries into the folks at Wilson by May 31st, and you could find yourself on Golf Channel this fall. So, Billy Hurley III,
Mm-hmm.
very interesting guest, very cool guy.
Yeah. Very relaxed. You know, we met him in person. Very cool guy. It was just, it's good to finally meet him.
Yeah, Sunshine and I hopped over as well and hit up the press conference. That was shortly after we did our one-on-one interview with him. He's very chatty. He was very funny with the media.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a good time talking to him. It was a little bit different, and we were able to cover some different things. He's obviously a really unique case with his Naval Academy background, doing 5 years, 2 of which he was deployed. All
Yeah.
that. So it was
that was
interesting.
that was one of our more serious interviews. Sometimes we talk to David Faraday about his ass looking like the Japanese flag, and then we have Billy Hurley where we talk about more serious stuff. He's had an interesting life, obviously, a dramatic life. So it was cool to talk to him.
Yeah, it was great. So thanks again to him for hopping on.
And I didn't make it to the press conference because this boondoggle boy was blogging, because we actually do work on these trips.
Yep. Trent was blogging his face off. Great job, by the way.
Thank you.
On to from the gallery.
Yep.
Quick reminder, submit your stuff to us. If you have questions, if you have little games that you and your buddies play, if you have stories, really whatever the hell you have. We're also welcoming questions that you may have for guests. If you ever think, wow, it'd be really cool to talk to these PGA Tour players or to legends like David Faraday, and there's certain things you would like to ask them, email us, foreplay@barstoolsports.com. Let us know. We're also at ForePlayPod on Twitter and Instagram. Hit us up. Couple from the gallery stories today. First one, this guy says, fun little golf story from off the course. When I was in college, my roommates and I had a tradition. Whenever one of us had a young lady over, young lady, he says.
He did. That's very
interesting.
nice.
What's the what was the elk term?
Baby dolls.
Baby dolls. Whenever one of us had a baby doll over for the evening, we would bust open the door, chip a ball into the room. 3 of us would then run in, start putting the ball around the room while profusely saying, sorry, just playing through, don't mind us, for about 30 seconds before chipping the ball back out of the room and leaving. Needless to say, we got quite a few choice reactions from the visiting ladies / baby dolls. I highly recommend this practice to any college listeners.
I don't recommend that at all.
This just seems like a dick move.
I don't support this whatsoever.
No.
It seems like the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I will say the one line of sorry, just playing through gets me every time.
That's funny.
That is a funny line. Also, always be golfing. These guys clearly drunk, shit-faced in college, trying to golf, trying to have fun. It seems, but in reality, I think they're just cock blocking.
I do not support any form of cock blocking, and this could not be worse. It's one thing if you cock block somebody at a bar accidentally or something, but this guy, the way they're saying it, their friend has a lady over in his room. They are in there doing adult things consensually.
And these guys are chipping a ball around.
Yeah, that seems very juvenile.
And saying, sorry, just playing through.
All right, again, that part's pretty funny.
it's funny, but it's. I mean, this is psycho stuff.
This is like
You're just an asshole.
this is middle school shit.
Yeah.
It's like 7 minutes in heaven. Now we're gonna open the door really fast and see what's going on in there. That's what this is. I don't support it whatsoever. I appreciate the guy sending it an email, but we don't support this whatsoever.
Yeah, this could get you like a nice like a 9-iron to the face, maybe, or something like that.
This had to have caused physical fights
Yeah.
with people.
Yeah, it's bad news.
It's not like you guys got me again.
No,
You got me again.
no, it's bad. It's not what you want.
What I would say is lock your doors if you're in college.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
it.
or well, I guess. Yeah, what would you put like a sock in the door?
A sock on the door isn't stopping these fools.
These idiots.
They're chipping in if that door's unlocked.
Yeah. So fuck these guys. These guys are assholes.
Thanks for sending it an email, though.
Trent, we got one more from.
Yeah,
the gallery.
yeah. Another from the gallery. Back when I was 14, I was really into golf. I would always try to get my buddies to come out with me in the summer and slap the ball around. I finally convinced my best friend to come out with me, and he was immediately hooked. One afternoon, my buddy went down to the course and tried to play a quick afternoon 9. On the 8th hole, my buddy hits an errant slice drive, yells "Fore," and ended up hitting a dude in the head. I wasn't there, but the guy and his crew ended up making a big deal of it, calling the police and paramedics. Long story short, the guy was taken away in the meat wagon, and my buddy's dad got taken for $25,000.
That is insane.
Yeah.
No way.
A couple things. One, I love when ambulances are referred to as meat wagons. Shout out to Tommy Boy.
Agreed.
2, golf courses, this is like, I feel like we say international waters a lot, but it's just agreed upon that you are potentially going to get hit by a ball in the head.
Yes, and if you do, that's just part of it. I also agree or believe that the houses and any nearby property on a golf course is international waters. If you built or bought a house on a golf course, you get hit with a golf ball, tough luck.
It comes with the
Don't
territory.
live on a fucking golf course.
Well, it's like, all right, you have the coolness of living on a golf course, but you also have to take the downside of that, where these little balls are going to come flying through your window every once in a while.
Right, that's how it works. You live right next to a gigantic piece of property where idiots that stink at what they're trying to do stand there and swing ridiculously hard trying to hit a tiny, really hard white ball like 300 yards.
It is funny when you think about it that the houses that surround golf courses are all rich people. You think that'd be places where they would put poor people, where like they're the ones who are getting shit thrown through their windows.
Yeah, there should be like a layer of shitty houses, poor people houses,
Yeah.
before you get to the nice houses.
I could not agree more with that.
So we might be onto something there. I don't understand how you get taken for $25K. How is that even possible?
Would you get hit in the head for $25,000 by a golf ball?
From, I know that it seems like an easy yes, but your head. I mean, you need your brain. You can't like.
You sure do need that
If
brain.
it was like my leg, I'm gonna break my leg for 6 months or something. Compound fracture. I don't care about that.
Get out of here. I've never broken a bone, and I am so scared to break a bone.
What?
Never broken a single bone.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe you're just not living.
I am living. I'm out here. I played football for a long time, and I just never broke anything. Have you broken many bones?
I've broken my left arm 3 times.
What is going on over there?
Elbow, wrist, and I had like a hairline fracture on my up near my shoulder.
Is that all skiing related?
No, it's all hockey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. No,
Yeah.
I'm shocked I've never broken a bone. It just hasn't happened.
Yeah, so the head, it's just too risky. Like you start getting that down. You go down that concussion slope, and you're scrambled eggs. You come back. You're never quite who you thought you were.
You do run the risk of becoming a completely different person.
Right, and so that's just not worth it. $25K.
Okay. You know what doesn't cost $25,000?
What's that, Trent?
Ship sticks. Guys, if you aren't already using ship sticks when you travel for your golf trips, you're starting your round a couple over. You've probably seen their ads on Golf Channel and CNBC. Ship Sticks picks up your clubs from your home, golf course, office, or hotel, whatever's most convenient, and delivers them directly to wherever you're staying or playing. Instead of lugging them to and from the airport and wasting your time at baggage claim, use Ship Sticks to ship ahead of time, and your clubs will be waiting for you when you arrive. As the largest golf bag shipping company in the world, their prices are the lowest, starting at $39.99, which by itself is cheaper than most airline checked bag fees. Pretty great combo. You can eliminate the hassle of traveling with your clubs while saving time and money. All you have to do is go to shipsticks.com. That's SHIPSTICKS.com. Click Ship Now, and you'll be on your way to a hassle-free golf trip. Enter promo code BARSTOOL, that's BARSTOOL, for 10% off your next shipment. Once again, that's shipsticks.com, promo code BARSTOOL for 10% off your next shipment.
Love Shipsticks.
You're a big Shipstick guy.
Big fan of Shipsticks.
guy.
I've used them many times. I used them before they ever advertised with us. Now they help me out.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. I don't
Yeah.
know why the hell you would not use them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our guys, I would imagine, a lot of our listeners are golf trip guys to go with their buddies. Use Shipsticks. Don't be an idiot.
Use Shipsticks. We're just giving them. They didn't even pay for this extra 30 seconds.
No.
They're just a great fucking company. So use them. On to the Byron Nelson Classic.
Okay.
Sergio, our defending champ.
Sergio, who you compared yourself to on more than one occasion on the golf course today.
Several times.
Let me say this. I was not comparing myself to Sergio. I did the very embarrassing move of we were waiting behind a bunch of people all day today because we're fast. Everybody else slow as fuck. And I was swinging my 3-wood trying to, find my swing. And I took some divots out of the turf
Yeah,
on the tee boxes, which are pristine, by the way.
they were.
And I was like, oh, this must be my Sergio swing because he takes like intense divots with his 3-wood.
Okay. And also, I want to say one more thing, and this has nothing to do with Byron Nelson. It has more to do with Sergio now that he's won the Masters. Fuck everybody who does the whole, the golf gods have now turned in Sergio's favor because he was playing well throughout the beginning of the Players. Don't do that. When we hold out on 17,
Yep.
great, cool. Don't do the golf gods thing that, now Sergio's going to win everything. People.
You don't buy into the golf gods there, Trent?
I think I do buy into the golf gods. I don't like when people are now like, Sergio, he's about to have the best phase of his career. Everyone is just turning all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed on Sergio, and I don't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is your Sunday at the Masters Sergio hate coming back up?
A little. It's bubbling a little bit to the surface because now anything that Sergio does well, again, the ace on 17 was great, but now people are really laying it on thick that he's just in the favor of the gods and everything's going to go great for him.
Were you pumped about his 78 on 7?
Could not have been more excited.
See, I'm Team Sergio now. I love Sergio.
I'm about to puke all over this microphone.
Oh, he's great. The way that he just flushes the ball gets me excited. He's dominated the Players. He got himself in contention going into Sunday. Obviously, like we said, shot at 78. He's the defending champ here. He's the reigning Masters champ. He did admit, which I liked, that he got legitimately nervous for like his first 9 holes because they introduced him as the Masters champ.
Yeah,
On the
that's
first tee, he was like, "Oh shit, I'm the Masters champ."
that's true. I mean, yeah, it's pretty surreal for him.
Like,
I don't know.
People expect me to be really sick because I won the Masters.
Yeah, they do.
I can't relate to any of that. But anyway, it's the Byron Nelson. He's
Yeah.
the defending champ. We got a pretty damn good field this week, actually. We've got Dustin Johnson. We've got Jason Day, Jordan Spieth, Brooks Koepka, Jimmy Walker, Charlie Hoffman, who, we think is the most interesting golfer in the world.
Super interesting.
Duff Daddy.
Okay. Chubby Duff, who is back.
Chubby Duff is back.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can't be high on him right now. He's played well here. It looks like he's got 3 top 10s, including a win 2012, no missed cuts since 2011. So look for Duff Daddy out there. Other than that, for the Byron Nelson, that's pretty much all I got.
Hard
Trent
not
Daddy?
to like the hometown kid Spieth. I mean, that's where I'm going with there.
Yeah, he is. Is he going to be doing one of those deals where he's just literally staying at home, playing in the
Probably. He's got, if I remember correctly, a couple years ago I blogged Spieth bought like a $12 million house in Dallas.
Did he buy somebody else's house? Did he pull one of those moves like an old NBA guy or something like that?
It was, yeah. You're on the right track there. I can't remember the specifics, but something like that, yeah.
Anyway, he's going to be playing this week from a castle somewhere in Dallas, which sounds great. We're in a small 2-bed hotel room in D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Little different. Enjoy the Byron Nelson. I think that's it for this week.
Hit it hard.
Foreplay.
Oh.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, live at large. I hit it hard. Yeah, most people would have given enough by now. All the rough I've seen, these ups and downs. Somehow I just keep on playing through. So all you critics, pull up a chair. At the winner's circle soon, I'll be there with a high five and a smile for you. Hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large. I hit it hard. Had enough of people trying to tell me how to live my life. These lawyers and strings spending money like my ex-wives. Sure, I gamble and I drink and smoke 3 packs a day. Hell, ain't country music supposed to be this way? It's from the heart, man. I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large. I hit it hard. I hit it hard. I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large. I hit it hard. I'll keep hitting it hard, man. How about you?